Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
Thank you everyone for joining. Today we have Jodie Solberg. Yes, Jodie Solberg is a mental wellness and success coach, certified master hypnotherapist, transformational speaker, international best-selling author, and the founder and CEO of Psyched Up Success. She helps her clients heal from trauma, anxiety, and burnout so they can create peace, joy, and work-life harmony. Jodie's greatest joy and purpose is in helping others find their confidence and create a life they love so they can go out and pass those lessons on to the next generation. To connect with Jodie, visit www.psychedupsuccess.com. You may also follow her on social media on Instagram at psyched_up_success, or join her Facebook community at www.facebook.com/group/purpose-passion-path.
And now part 2 with Jodie Solberg.
I created a very specific calendar to make sure that I implemented rest. So one of the things that slowed me down is I got a concussion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, no, it was
not fun.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
It
was funny, but it was not fun.
The story is funny, but the incident itself was not fun.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we could talk about the story. Yeah, I was actually going. You know, we should turn that into a remix song. And what ended up happening was I ran straight into this glass window. And my thoughts started slowing down almost immediately. And then I started feeling weird, and I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. And I didn't really understand how to rest until I learned how to rest from a concussion. Like you destimulate your entire life. You get rid of the bright lights, you get rid of the loud noises. You have to be very careful with how much stimulus you're intaking, or otherwise you won't rest well enough to recover. Right. Yeah. That taught me how to really rest. And then I implemented that into my schedule. But I love what you're saying in regards to, like, these are the tiny things that I used to do as well. I used to do those a lot, that you can really pull out and create a steadier, healthier, happier life. I love that you mentioned you don't have to keep working harder, and you don't have to run yourself into the ground. And those are some of the ways that you can. Katie and I, we are givers. Yeah, we are givers, but I appreciate you sharing that with us. Now, I'd love to know, what do you think is a healthy amount of, I guess, hours to work a day? Because right now there's a interesting work-life balance going on even in the entire marketplace.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna address it in a way where I'm going to talk about that balance idea first. So I believe in creating work-life harmony. And there's a difference to me, because balance is one of those words that to me sounds like a lot of work. So to me, when somebody says work-life balance, I picture a scale and trying so hard to make everything so even all of the time. And that just sucks my energy when I think about trying to balance everything. And so how I describe it is this idea of this harmony where every piece of your life is like an instrument in a band. And you're creating your favorite song. This is the idea, right? It has to be your life. So it has to be pleasing to you. And so that harmony is going to be different for every single person, because somebody's going to love country, someone's going to love classical, somebody's going to love metal, right? Everyone's going to be different on what that looks like, what the different pieces and moving parts and then instruments and their life are. And sometimes there's going to be a vocal solo and it's all about you. And sometimes there's a guitar solo and maybe it's work, or there's drums and it's your family, or whatever the case may be of all the different parts in your life. everyone to me is going to be different. So the answer to that is going to be different. Now, when we work, how much we work, all of those things, we have to follow what's going to be best for us. And so one of the things I don't believe in is fitting yourself into someone else's system. And so, for example, I have a lot of these conversations, but I just had one today about someone trying to fit themselves into the miracle morning. And she said, I have to get up and go to work. I have to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm already getting up at 4:30. If you want me to try to put all of this into a morning, I'm getting up at 3:30 in the morning and I don't want to do that. And I said, I give you permission not to do that. Guess what? You can do those things any time of day you want to do them. It's okay. And so I think when we look at somebody else saying, okay, you gotta, these are the hours you should work, or this is how much you should work, and this is what you should do, then we start judging ourselves and thinking that there's something wrong with us if that's not what feels good to us. And so I would just recommend exploring for each of us, what is going to be the right fit for us. I have different amounts of hours that I work on different days. So there might be, a few 2 or 3 days a week where I have, 8-hour days. And there may be a couple days a week where I'm just kind of taking care of me and I work a few hours. And then I like to take my weekends off, if at all possible. I love to take the weekends off, but that's me. Somebody else might take Monday and Tuesday off, or they may just do some half days, or they may, have days where they like to work longer, or they may work really well at nights and not in the morning, or vice versa. And so, I really don't think that there's a standard answer to that. For me, even when I have those really full days, I don't negotiate. I still hold my boundaries on those breaks in between. And so to me, it doesn't matter so much how many hours I'm working in the day, as long as it matches my energy. And, there's honestly some weeks that, I'm good. I have all this energy and I'm like, oh, I can get all this work done. And there's some weeks where I'm like, I just need to rest. So I think it's really important just to also listen to our bodies and to match our energy in whatever time of day, or, whatever days you're like, yes, I'm ready. Let's do this. And you want to get a lot done. Great. But don't push yourself when you're not feeling it, and if you try working, 5 hours and you can be super productive in 5 hours a day, great. It's better than trying to push yourself and getting hardly anything done in 8 hours a day, because it's not what works for you.
And I love the giving permission.
Yes.
Granted, we're giving permission. You were giving permission to your client in this case, but we can give ourselves permission to take that extra 15 minutes or to hit the snooze button in the morning, if that's what we need for any given day. So I love that as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you do not have to be a morning person to be successful. I think that has, long been something that people have talked about. Like, you have to be in the 5 o'clock club. You know what? I am not a 5 o'clock in the morning person, and I am never going to be, and it's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Not interested.
No, not interested anymore.
Yeah. Thank you. I feel like a lot of people have been run down, especially prior to the pandemic. It's interesting how much we really did burn ourselves out. And I love that you share how not just these tidbits, but what is like through the service of being a hypnotherapist, what does that structure look like? What are people entering into when they sign up for a hypnotherapy session with you?
Okay. So somebody comes to me for a hypnotherapy session. It's a lot of learning how to relax, which is a very good thing. I think we could all use that. But what that looks like, it just depends, obviously, on what they're wanting to work on. I have lots of tools in my tool belt and different techniques that we can use. But, the general flow is I like to, walk through with them. What are you wanting to change? What are those things that it's affecting in your life right now. What's happening there. And then we do a relaxation. Basically, so think about this, if you've ever gone to the last 5 minutes of yoga class and they have you lay on your mat and close your eyes and you focus on your breathing and you're connecting with your body, but you're also really aware, right? You know where everybody else is in the room. You can tell if the instructor's walking around. I've always been able to tell if they're walking around or not. You know what's going on. You can jump up and run if the fire alarm goes off, right? It's very similar feeling to that. We just go into a deeper state. So it's a deeper relaxation. So a deeper type of meditative state. It's a totally natural state of consciousness. It's the kind of thing we go in and out of all the time when you're first waking up or falling asleep or kind of zone out on the way home from Costco. Been there a million times. So you're thinking about what you're making for dinner and, all of a sudden you're home, right? You're still there. If something, ran out in front of you, you stop, all of that. But you're very relaxed. And so I love to take clients, there's a few different options, but a lot of times we'll go through a progressive relaxation, help them actually get connected, do some breathing techniques, get connected in with their body, help them to relax their mind. And then that way they can access whatever's going on behind the scenes. Your subconscious is a lot of times, it absorbs everything. So it knows all the things, it knows all the hurts, it knows all the disappointments, and it might be trying to, for example, protect you and block you from disappointment or getting hurt again. Right? And so it can be keeping you from reaching a goal or doing the things you need to do in order to get there because of fear, because of trying to stay in the comfort zone and avoiding whatever pain that might be that it kind of feels like compared to the past. And so we can dive into whatever those topics are. I take clients through guided visualizations. Now, depending on if they're visual or not, so I learn in the process of getting to know them, are they visual or auditory or kinesthetic? How do they experience things? And so I guide them based on that. But it's interesting because a lot of people think that you're not going to be aware. They also, a lot of times, don't realize that we're actually going to be in conversation. So I'll be guiding them and asking them questions, and they're coming up with the answers. I'm not telling them what to do or how to think or how to act or how to feel. I'm really just bringing them into that more relaxed state so we can access their subconscious, but they're really the ones that are in control. And so they're bringing up their awareness, they're figuring out what's going on behind the scenes that's keeping them from whatever it is that they would like to do, keeping them stuck, for example. And, there's a lot of techniques that we can do to figure out what that root cause, to heal that, to help them process through that, to help empower them, and then be able to give them the tools to use on their own that they can do after our session. And so that's really what that looks like. And then at the end, just gently bringing them back up to that conscious awareness. They'll remember everything we did and said in the session, and their subconscious will continue to do that healing work after. And so it's a really great experience. Everyone that I work with will tell me that, they have a really positive experience with it and that it was very relaxing and a safe space. It's creating that safety and that peaceful calm so that you can really, sometimes get at the heart of some really deeply emotional, challenging issues, but from a little bit of a distance, and having that safety and having that calm. So you're not getting sucked back into it. They're not getting brought back into that height of trauma, for example. So yeah, it's interesting because I do think is very different than what you see on television and different than what most people expect.
I love how it empowers them without having to, go into the whole sad story about everything, that it gives them a chance to have full control of the situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really important piece. of it is that empowerment for them to, a lot of people think, oh, hypnotherapy, I'm not going to be in control. It's actually giving them more control. And so that is very important to realize, is that it's increasing your awareness and it's increasing your self-control, and to know what's going on behind why you're doing what you're doing is very enlightening and very empowering, because then when you have the awareness, that's always the first step to being able to make the changes, which is why it's very effective in a therapeutic way to help people to get results a lot faster, because then they can really understand, oh, this is what's happening. I can be aware of it when those thoughts or those emotions or those behaviors are manifesting. They understand the process and they understand what to do in order to create a new path for themselves and make a different choice. So it's giving them that feeling that because they do, that they have that power of choice in their lives.
Wow, there's so much value in everything that you're sharing. I'm like, we're just nourished with all this context and just knowing exactly how you can really break through those challenges. And I also, I definitely notice the fears that have been to a specific extent, where I feel like that jolt of stop, like for anyone out there that understands, you're doing something and all of a sudden it feels like you're getting pulled back by a chain out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's I'm really about the understanding of your subconscious thoughts and understanding that you can not necessarily reprogram, I guess that is a word you can say, but purify those beliefs. And I think the way that you do it is so commendable. The fact that you're in a gentle way, because trauma is never always so gentle, I guess you can say.
Exactly.
I love this conversation. I love the energy behind you. And I'm so happy that you joined us today on this podcast. Katie, do you have any additional questions?
I'm just thinking we have another sister.
Yes,
you're being adopted into our family, darling, because
yes, you are.
What you are doing and what you have shared falls right in line with what Ace and I do with our own clients, and with the Teen Suicide Prevention Society. It's all about that empowering the person to let them know that they have control. They can control their thoughts. They can control their outcomes. So welcome to the family, darling.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be adopted, and I would love to get to know you both better and to work with you, collaborate any way that I can help. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just glad that our paths crossed.
Yes, thank you. We'll set up some time and we'll actually get to know each other more than just on a podcast. Okay. Get to the crux of it, because I feel like, yes, Katie's right. There's some soul family going on.
Yeah, here. There's some soul family going on here. So
I'm feeling it.
But on this note, we have to end the recording because our time is coming to an end.
Oh, yes.
So thank you so much, Jodie. It has been very enlightening for me, and I greatly appreciate all the information.
Same as well.
You're so welcome. Thank you again for having me as your guest. I appreciate you both, and it was such a privilege to be here with you today.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.